Hi everyone, so we are focusing on the ence and the ence. So it has its own particular sound and it gets added on as a suffix, and then its very own sound that you see in lots of words. Now I would practice spelling these and have them down with the spelling so that you can just know how to spell them, because they will be in lots and lots of words. Now you have ence and ence that gets confused. So ence, you can hear it, fence, ence. So dance is super easy. You can hear dance, ance, or vowel ence. Now this is where you're going to have issues, is the ence and the ence. How do I spell it? Is it really saying ence or is it really saying ence? You don't have a problem with dance, but oftentimes you can really actually hear ence. Okay, but you will have sometimes you will have that issue. You won't have a problem with if you hear ence. If you hear ence, spell it ence, and you're always going to spell ence, E-N-C-E, E-N-C-E, like fence, ence. Now see, if you notice that we are ending it with a C-E, because if we ended it with an S, what would that mean? It means S is plural. If you have one S, now there are some exceptions. If you have one S at the end of the word, most of the time it's going to be plural. That means more than one fen, which there's not even anything named fen. Maybe there could be somebody's name or something. So you need to actually learn how to spell ence. E-N-C-E. E-N-C-E. Ence. Fence. Hence. Ence. Ence. We're just going to say it as its very own sound. Ence. Hence. Now here is a multi-syllable word. You're going to say sigh, I. See, it's open. That means this I is long, and then you're going to say lens. It's exactly how it sounds. So if you know that sound, you're just going to spell it like that. Sigh, S-I, because it's open, so it's going to force that I to be long. When it's open, it's going to force that long I sound. Silence, silence. Now, see right here, we have an S-C. That means it's Greek, and it's going to say it's long I sound. But here we have ence, ence. Defense. See how it's open, it's long. D, and then ence, ence. Now this is really fun. This says license, and it breaks right here. License. Now this is very unusual. This is British, and the Americans spell it L-I-C-E-N-S-E. License. They mean the exact same thing. So see how we say ence? It's almost always spelled with the C-E, but here it's different. Okay? So sometimes things like that happen, and we have S-E that says several times. Most of the time if you hear at the end of a word, it's going to be CE, especially if you hear enced. Now look at this. Ev. Now we have a multi-syllable word. Look, it's going to break here because this is short. Ev, and because this I is in the middle of a word and it's open, it's going to say its short sound. Evidence. Evidence. Now let's look at this one. Influence. influence. This is your Latin root right here. This is your Latin prefix. Influence. Silenced. See how this ed turns to the t sound? Because this is a C. Now, here we have our base word, and we're going to drop the E and add our suffix on to make it ed. Silenced. So you're going to see them in the middle of words. Sequence. E, see it's open, so it's going to be long. C and then ence. Ence. Sequence. Now, defensed. It's going to break here, and we're going to have our ed on there. Defensed. Same thing right here. It's going to say the t sound because this is a soft sound. Fenced. And then licensed. So, if you're in America, it's going to be an SE. If it's British, it's going to be CE. Refence. You have to be careful. Sometimes you're going to see words that come up. This isn't even a real word. So make sure you're hearing and pronouncing the word that you need. This should be reference. Reference. So just be careful that you're hearing each sound. Now this right here is a prefix. This is your Latin root, and oftentimes with Latin root, if it's a consonant vowel consonant, you have to double it if you're adding on your vowel suffix. Fur is one of those unusual roots that can be doubled sometimes, and sometimes it's not doubled. And here it's not doubled. Now we have ence and ance. So A-N-C-E. When it's the accented syllable, when it's one syllable, it's going to be accented, and it's going to say the short ass sound. Because if it's accented, that means it's going to say the sound that you would expect. When it's not accented, it's going to turn to schwa, which says Closed A's and closed O's, if they're not accented, will turn into schwa. And that says ence. And that's where you're going to get confusions with ence and ence. This is ence in a multi-syllable word. You're not going to see that in one-syllable words. Where are we going to see that? In multi-syllable words when it is not accented. Okay? Now, dance. Ance. And you need to remember that it's just A-N-C-E, just like this one's E-N-C-E, A-N-C-E, A-N-C-E. This needs to be memorized. Ance, ance, dance. Ance, chance. Ance, chance. Glance, ance. Glance. Now this is a two-letter blend. It blends super nicely together. Glance. Advance. Now, right here, this says advance. It's a multi-syllable word. Now, most of the time in a two-syllable word, the accent's going to fall here, but it doesn't in this one. It's saying advance. See how this one's turned to schwa? And this one is saying the sound you would expect a short A to sound. Advance. This is your prefix. Finance. So this is still the accented syllable. Finance. It's saying that short sound. And this is open. Fi, and then nance. And then romance. It's open right here, so it's going to force this long O to be open. Romance. So if you can memorize ants, that's going to be super easy to read. Romance. Pranced. See how they're in the middle of words. Prance is your base word, and you're going to drop the E and add your suffix ed. Pranced. Pranced. Anced, pranced. This is a multi-syllable word, and you can hear this, it's going to say bow, and this is the accented syllable. It's saying it's short sound, bow, ence. See how you can hear that this turns to schwa? Bow, ence. See how here it's a one-syllable word, so it says ance. This is multi-syllable, and this is not accented. It's saying bow, ence. So if you're having a hard time, look it up to hear how it's pronounced, if you have that ability to do that. So distance. See? This is the accented syllable. It's turning to schwa. Distance. Dis, and then ence. Ence. Distance. Reliance. Now, in a two-syllable word, it's more difficult to see if it's going to say ence or if it's going to say ance, like advance. See how here it's saying ance and here it's saying ence? But in a three-syllable word or more, if it ends with ance, almost always it's going to say ence. And you don't have to worry about is it ance or is it ence? So it's going to say it's open, so it's going to be long, reliance. Reliance. This one, allowance. See how this double L, so see how this is schwa. Most of the time you're going to see in a 1, 2, 3, oftentimes it's going to be this syllable, low. That's a Latin root. This is your prefix. It's going to be the accented syllable, allowance. See how both of these turn to schwa, ence, allowance, because they're not accented and they're closed. These are closed syllables. Now remember what a closed syllable is. It is a vowel and then a consonant at the end. That's a closed syllable because there is something closing it in at the end. Now, dependence. Dependence. Now see how this in the multi-syllable word says dunce, and this one, when it's a one-syllable word, says dance. Dependence. And it's a three-syllable word, so it's most likely going to turn to schwa. Romancer. Romancer. Now I wanted to show you, so here we have romance, but now we're adding the suffix er. We're dropping the e and adding the suffix er. Now this has changed up your syllables. Right here is going to be short. Look, it's open, romancer. And now because we have a vowel R here, that's actually going to split here. See how we didn't split mance up right there? But we are, because now it has its very own syllable. And it's going to say sir. Okay? See how it's going to say that same thing, because romanced. Romanced. So some people might split that. I'm biased on that. I'm not really caring. This is romancing. So this one definitely splits when you add on this vowel suffix. Romancing. You're going to drop the e and add your vowel suffix right there. What happens here? Danceable. We have dance. And see how right here we dropped the e and added on your vowel suffixes on all of these? But look what happens here. Because it's a CE, we have D-A-N-C-E. If we drop the E, it's going to say dank, dank. And then it's still wrong because you can't have a C at the end of words like that. You can't end it like that. It has to end with a K or a CK. So, but if we did A-B-L-E, it would say dankable, because a C has to be followed by an E, I, or a Y for it to get the sound right here. So you have to be careful. dropping the E when you're adding on a suffix, something like this, A-B-L-E. Is this an E, I, or a Y? No. So you do not drop the E, you just add it on, because it would say dankable instead of danceable, what we want it to say. It's going to break right there. Whoops. T. Pen. See, you're going to have your vowels here, and you're going to break it between the two consonants. P, n, pen. R-E, E. It's open, so it's going to say it's long sound. Pen, repen, and then tons. See how we have 1, 2, 3, look. It's saying the schwa sound. So if there's at least 3 syllables, you know almost always this is going to say ence and not ance. So oftentimes it's going to say ence with a 2-syllable word, but not always. See, look, advance, finance, romance. Somehow the audio was shut off, and so now we have to redo this part of the video. But we're talking about ICE. Now, ICE, when it's a suffix, says either is or ice. But it can be really tricky. So, like the word advice, here it is saying ice. But oftentimes it says is. But like the word cowardice, see the difference? So if you don't know, look it up. If you're like, can I just go, if you have the opportunity and the ability to look it up, just look it up. But another thing that gets really confusing, this looks like it could be is or ice, but it is not. It is the OI goes together, and it is the vowel team oi, ois. This says D voice. And so just be really careful with that. Okay, so now, ISE, it says is or is or is at the end of a word. But this can be tricky because you're gonna find in lots of words. See, look, wised, it's your base word. It's going to say eyes. And oftentimes at the end of multi-syllable words, we teach it as is or is, okay? Or ice. But if it's in a 1-syllable word and you have your suffix added onto it, it's going to say the sound you would say if it's a silent E syllable, and that says wise. Here it says wised. It's saying the same sound. And it's not a suffix when it's in a word like this. This is a silent E syllable, okay? But when we add the suffix on, like this word, it becomes a multi-syllable word, and it's no longer a silent E syllable, and it says riser. Now, you have to be careful because it's not saying the suffix sound. You're saying rise and riser, riser, riser. And so many S's, when it's followed by a vowel, will turn to Z. So the vowel is a hard sound, so it's forcing this S to go to a harder sound, which is the Z sound. Z. See, the Z sound is forming, and it forces that. If you say ricer, it's a completely different word, a completely different sound. Okay, advised, advised. So here, look, we're gonna break it apart, and it's gonna go like this. But when it's when it's a word all by itself, like advice, advice, but once the ED is on there, it's going to say advised. So that can be really tricky. Things like that change when you're adding on your suffix. Now, also, when you have words like this, it's a 1-syllable word, and almost always in a 1-syllable word, ISE is going to say eyes or ice. Sometimes it will say that, but you're gonna expect it to say eyes. But look, sometimes this I will say something like ease. And so there's words out there like, now we have wiser, wised, wiser. See how it breaks right here? This one I wouldn't say it breaks because you can't hear the ed there. So, and it becomes long. This is a syllable and this is a syllable. This is a vowel R syllable and this is an open syllable. This says wiser, wiser. Now here, it's going to be a suffix. Now this is how British English uses their suffix. We as Americans use our suffix to get eyes as I-Z-E, but British English does eyes, I-S-E, liberalize, liberalize. It's the same word, but this is how we spell it here in America. Liberalize, liberalize. I'm going to focus on the ing sound. Now the ing sound, the I-N-G, that is a suffix, and it's relating to the present tense. It is your participle. It identifies it as a participle and also as a gerund. And so this can be confusing to people that are just learning English. If they're saying, well, ing is a participle and the gerund, but it's also a suffix that forms real words that does not pertain to a gerund or a participle. And those are these small words like this, like king, ing. Now this always says ing, 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 and it's a unit sound that says e, ng, ing, and we just say it as a unit sound. It's its very own sound. We don't say ing, we say ing, ing. It's saying the long E sound right here, ing. So once you have this down, look at all these fun words that you're just gonna be boom, boom, boom. You're gonna bring them out. K, ing, king, sing, ing, sing, ring, ing, ring, wing, ing, wing, thing, ing, thing. String. Now here is a three-letter blend. Ing. String. Bring. Ing. Bring. Swing. Ing. Swing. Sorry if I'm going too fast, but hopefully you can slow it down on your recorder. Sting. Ing. Ing. Remember, just say ing. Ing. Don't make it complicated. Ing. Fling. Cling. See how there's really small one-syllable words, but this is what happens when you are seeing it in a multi-syllable word. Being. Now look, this is when it becomes the participle, the present participle, or it becomes your gerund. See how it breaks right here? And oftentimes it's its very own syllable. Being. See right here, when you add it on to, this is the base word, when you add it on to age, which is the base word, you're going to drop the E and add your vowel suffix, ing, and now you have a gene, and it breaks it up differently. See how here age is its very own word. It's a silent E syllable. But here, it's A is all by itself. It's the long A sound. It's open, it's the accented syllable, aging. Now we have, look, bringing. Now we have two of these unit sounds together. And you just say bring, ing, bringing. And see how this right here is its very own word, bring. Doing. It's very own word, do, and then your ing, doing, doing. Now, tube is the base word here. We're going to drop that E and add our vowel suffix, and it's going to say to, bean, to, bean. Here is a one syllable word. Here, it is no longer a silent E syllable. This is open, and this is a unit syllable right here. The same thing here. Like is your base word. But you're going to drop the E and add it on your vowel suffix right here, and it's going to be open. It's going to be open syllable and a unit syllable. Liking. Liking. This is a unit syllable. This is a unit syllable. Unit syllable. Unit syllable. Okay. Anyways, I hope that helps you, and we'll see you later. Bye, everybody.